when you're a black person and you try your best to educate yourself, to understand and to break past the biased culture that the Western world tries to promote, there's a caution that the system raises to the point where they fear or they believe that they have failed in their, or should they not deal with the circumstance being a black person going to actually understand himself through institutionalized education. They fear a concern, and that fear is eventually manifested into white supremacy incarnate, which becomes a collective group of people representing one ideal belief that if you are not a white person born into white America or white Europe, you are not considered to be part of them. And this is the experience that I find myself facing every day when I'm walking into situations where perhaps the professors, the teachers even have some sense of offense towards me wearing my blackness, especially when I'm in the classrooms, to where the school system will even refuse to grade me, to where they even refuse to hand me a grading book, to where they deliberately, and I have this on record, believe me, they deliberately fail me because they claim that they did not understand my name. My name is a traditional African heritage name that I wear, and they claim when they do not mark my papers, or when they give me an F, which eventually turns into a passing, a grade beyond passing. I'll leave it at that. Their reasoning, and once again I'll tell you I have this on email, their reasoning is that they got me confused with somebody else. Who in the living daylight did you get me confused with? I'm from an authentic West African tribe, okay? Furthermore, there are literally 0 black people in my program. So, I don't get that. I don't understand how they can keep resorting behind lies as to their reasoning as to why they do not want to educate black people. During my exam even, they didn't mark my exam and they failed me in the entire course. I spent my entire Christmas going back and forth with the professor saying, you cannot get away with this. To which he said, listen, I'll give you a deal. He says, I'll give you like a D or a C, and just walk away and pretend this didn't happen. I had to press these people to find my grade. Eventually, there was a professor who got involved with the situation, and thankfully, he was actually able to retrieve my paper. His reasoning for why the paper went missing was due to the fact that there was a naming issue. And I'm very confused, and I'm just like, I'm very sorry. Is that offensive to you? Because time after time, I run into situations where the the students refuse to respect me because I'm black. The graders refuse to grade me or teach me because I'm black. They literally point to me and shake me off. So I get to the point where I'm like, I actually educate myself, and I don't even rely on somebody who has no interest in supporting my heritage to try and assist further with the cause. And as much as I wanted to keep this under the carpet, I speak about it because I'm like, that is not my responsibility. If you feel offense to me expressing my rights as a black person to further undergo my education. I grew up in some of the most strictly dominated white areas in the particular regions of the developing countries, and time after time, I always found myself being driven to the point of lacking balance, should I say. I could just be in my backyard, for instance, minding my own business, or taking out the garbage, or trying my best to just reflect, to which the white people within the neighborhood feel some kind of way towards the fact that their supremacist structure was infiltrated by a black person. I was walking through a neighborhood. I had to print out some documents for work. And so I'm walking past this school. And as I'm walking past this school, there's a group of white kids who are chilling besides the outskirts of the school. They start to make they're starting to make monkey sounds, and they're explicitly stating to me that I'm black. And I'm just thinking to myself, I'm just like, come on, man, like, did you need to tell me that? Are you serious? It's interesting because whenever I reported these instances, they always assumed, the professionals, self-proclaimed professionals, they always assumed that the white people were incapable of doing anything of harm. They always assumed that the white people were so peaceful, law-abiding, not understanding that they were drunk, racist, redneck, and completely out of their own minds to go as far as infiltrating on my own personal rights to living, including stomping on my ceilings and slamming my doors, and causing damage to personal property, which I actually reserved rights to. And throughout all of this, I found that there was an absolute failure from the system to resolve this issue. When I reported the instances to the police, being that, you know, there was actually damage being inflicted on personal property, they told me, do you have any audio recordings? I said, no, I have pictures of the damage. They said, okay, well, next time get audio recordings, and make sure you call us if there's an emergency. So then, fortunately, I did gain some insight as to how these are the same police who would actually throw allegations and throw documents at me when I was working in these white neighborhoods for messaging a boss who was treating me like a slave, for letting that boss in regarding the insight of their mistreatments. These are the same police who would take a documentation and say, This person is of concern to this white lady, not understanding that I had never actually, I actually walked away from the position, right? And I had never put my hands on these people, and I never had any history of violence. However, the false assumption was already predetermined, and that it's one thing that I feel that after moving several times, it's happening in one neighborhood, or let me move to another. It's happening in another neighborhood, let me move to another. I felt like this was too reoccurring, to where I was just like, I need to get back with my brothers and my sisters.